Well, good morning. I'm going to start. I've got all the sheetrock hung, the corner beads all put on, and I'm going to start taping the joints first coat. So here it goes. first coat. Didn't take that long, maybe an hour and a half. And you can see I've got the hot and cold water lines sticking out of the wall, ready for the hot water heater. There are 2 more coats to go, and then paint this and to put the floor down. So that's the next few steps. But hanging and tape, this is the most time consuming. The first coat always takes longer, so should go a lot quicker next 2 coats. All right, I'm going to start the, this is the next day. I'm going to start putting on the second coat. Second coat of mud, or joint compounder. All right, that's the second coat. It took about half an hour. So, well, I'm just about to put on the third coat of mud, and I'm not going to film it because it's just like the second coat of mud, except it's the third coat of mud. So, I guess I will talk about the procedures here, what seems to make sense for me. You know, I kind of just have learned by doing, so there you have it. I've learned by doing, but you still need 3 coats on the corners, but the outside corners. But the inside corners, the first coat you embed the tape in mud on both sides, and then you just on the second coat I mud one side. And you have to let that dry because when you do the third coat, which is this side of the corner, the trowel has to ride against a dry, hard surface. So if you try to do both sides at once, you're going to end up messing up one side or the other. So these corners really only get 2 coats. But the joint compound is thick enough on these outside corners and all the other joints that you're really going to need 3 coats of mud. The third coat of joint compound is dried. Camera's all crooked. Excuse me. And I put in the box for the ceiling light, and I'm going to sand all of this stuff. And then I got to do some little bit of touch up, and hopefully this afternoon I can put on a coat of paint on here. So. Well, welcome back. It's a little echoey in here. This is the pantry. I got the third coat of paint on the ceiling and 3 coats of paint on the walls. I'm not a painter, but this is only a pantry. I think it looks pretty good. So this room doesn't have any windows in it. And I put it purposely in the center of the house because we don't spend a lot of time in here. We don't live in here. So it doesn't need to be, I don't have to waste an exterior wall with natural light to illuminate this room. So it has only one ceiling light, and that'll be plenty enough light in here to for the short time that we're going to be spending in here, coming in here to get stuff in the pantry or putting stuff in the pantry. So the walls are basically done. They are done. And the next step is the floor. You saw in previous videos, previous footage of me making up the white oak flooring, and now's the time to put it in. So the very first step here is I'm going to have to crawl around on my knees and scrape up all of the stuff that might be on the floor. And then I'm going to staple down red rosin paper, and you can see I've got the flooring is going to run the length of the room, not across it. It will run the length. And we have lots of different flooring going in the house. Excuse me, this is white oak flooring. The flooring in the living room, dining room is red oak. And the flooring under the camera, which goes into the kitchen area, will be tile. So there has to be some way to transition from one to the other, and so I'm going to be putting in these pieces in the doorways of the pantry, and they're basically, they'll go perpendicular to the flooring. The flooring will butt up to them, and the door for the pantry will be above them. So we have to have a transition somewhere, so it's going to be under the doorways of the pantry itself. So clean the floor, put down rosin paper, and I'm going to snap a line along this wall here, and on top of the rosin paper, and that's going to be my reference line. Reference line so that I can get all the flooring to lay perfectly straight in here. And then from that reference line, I'll make a perpendicular line in the doorway so that I can get the flooring to, I can cut the flooring at 90 degrees and it'll butt up against this, this transition piece. I don't want this transition piece to be at some funny angle where every time I cut a piece of flooring I have to remember what it is. I want that to be 90 degrees, so it makes it as simple as possible. All right, I scraped up all of the sheetrock and paint blobs that were on here, and I had to nail down a couple of the nails that were poking up a little bit. And cleanliness is kind of key. You want to start with as nice a floor, flat, well nailed off as you can, because you're never going to get back to this point. It's going to be covered up, and you're trying to avoid, you want to end up with a flat floor that doesn't squeak. So preparation is key. The next step is I'm going to put down some rosin paper, which is just this inexpensive paper here. It just forms a little barrier between, the floor and the subfloor. I can't tell you for certain, but I've been told that it helps. With that little bit of a barrier, it allows the floor to move slightly, and that's what you want. You want the floor. This is wood, and it reacts to seasons and temperatures and humidity, so it's going to move slightly. So this is just inexpensive stuff that I'm going to lay down on the floor, staple it in place, and the theory is it'll help the floor move around and stop squeaks. But so it's a step I'm going to do anyway. I can't prove to you it does one thing or the other. The other thing, I have a friend who does a lot of flooring, and he doesn't use this stuff because it's very thin and it tears very easily, and he prefers to use tar paper. So. All right, that gives me a nice clean surface to start working on. So like I said, next step is to figure out and snap a reference line. Now the reference line, it's a line that I will work from. It's not the line that I'm going to put the flooring to. So I'm just using the framing square on the chalked red line to make sure that that transition piece is square to the red line. Alright, I got the paper down, the reference line in place, and the two transition pieces in the doorways. Now, having the transition pieces there makes it that I have to fit them from here to there. The last piece I put in has to fit perfectly, because these are the actual finished edges of this floor. So it's just going to take a little bit more time and care to get the end fits correctly, but that's just has to happen. You're eventually going to come to somewhere where you have to be careful and do the best job you can. So I'm going to start by getting some flooring in here and just roughly laying out the first couple rows, and then I'm going to, So the first row, actually, the rows up against the walls, they don't want to touch the walls. You want to have some space for the floor to expand, if it's going to expand. So we're going to leave like a 1/4 inch gap all the way around the room, except for on the transition pieces. And I think I'm going to do that by eye. Now, the other important thing when you're putting in hardwood floors is you need to let the hardwood, the flooring, acclimate to the building for as long as you can, actually. So the flooring that's over there has been in here for 2 weeks, and it was dry to begin with, but it's been sitting in here for 2 weeks. So I feel pretty comfortable that I could put it down and it won't open up as too much. So let me get some flooring in here. I gotta get the flooring nailer set up and we'll get going. Alright, you can see I've got a few layers of the flooring cut in here. I'm working with, I'll turn the camera a little bit more. So I'm working with a few different widths, and so I want to mix them up as much as I can. I got, can you even see? I'll get out of the light. I got a few more layers of flooring cut, and I got to plug the compressor in and put these in place, and we'll see where we're at. I got the whole, let's get this thing off here. I got the whole floor down, and we actually have some extra wood over there. But I was hoping to get this sanded and a coat of finish on it today. Oh, sorry about the lighting. I was hoping to get a coat of finish, and it's not going to happen. That's okay. But you can see the square cuts here at the transition. They're not perfect, and I'll have to maybe add a little bit of a colored filler in there. But overall, I'm very happy with it. It's a white oak floor, some stuff that's been in my dad's barn for 20 years, and so now it's doing something a little bit different. Yeah, camera battery went bad on me, so I'm not sure what got filmed and what didn't. But and the camera mount is just about to break off the tripod, so hopefully we get something. I get something filmed before that happens. So I'm sanding the floor. I'm sanding this floor by myself because I want to just get it done. But the rest of the hardwood floors, we're going to have a company come in and sand them professionally. But this is not that big, and it won't take me that long, so I'm just going to put on my mask and helmet and my ear protectors and hat and get to it. Good morning. As you can see, I'm a little further along on the pantry. Yesterday I got the water heater installed, and I'm not a plumber and I absolutely hate plumbing because it takes 3 or 4 trips to the store to try to get all the right stuff. But it's installed, it's working, we have hot water in the house. Yippee! Another step towards not camping. And I'll pan down so you can see the floor. The white oak floor's got 3 coats of a finish on it, and it's cured so you can walk around on it with your socks. So that's as far as I'm going with the pantry now. I've got other projects to start working on, and after this video there'll be an update on the insulation, so stay tuned for that. It's not that exciting. It's actually, and I won't give anything away, but so anyway, there's the end of the pantry series for now. I'll be back into this room later, probably. I can't even tell you when. It's going to be a long time because I've got other projects that are priority. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along on our house building project. Thanks again.